their White Russian really took the cake. Is that a phrase even? I don't know.
Welcome back to the Midnight Ride. We are back in Las Vegas. We traveled here in August, just after reopening. We were back in September, came back in October, back in December, and now we are back again in March of 2021. We have seen a really wide swing of things happening here in Las Vegas, and we just wanted to share some of that with you since maybe you're considering taking a trip here this spring or maybe in the summer, but especially if you're coming soon. We feel like we can provide a pretty good glimpse of what you can expect when you come here. So one of the very first things that's different about Las Vegas now in March of 2021 is the vibe here on the Strip. The vibe feels so much better right now. It's like people are actually happy again. Back in August, it was a little bit weird, but you can feel people being happy again, which is really, really nice. And it's palpable whether you're on the Strip on a weekday or on a weekend. It's been really nice to be back.
We have had really great drink service this trip. I would say probably 97% of the casinos we have visited, we have gotten served in a reasonable amount of time. This is from Bellagio, and generally I love their drinks. Their coffee and Baileys, no whip. Their White Russians are delightful, and they are strong, and you don't need very many to get you where you want to go. But I want to give a shout out to Paris Casino and Hotel. Their White Russian really took the cake. Is that a phrase even? I don't know. But all of our service generally has been really, really good this trip. In months past, it has been very hit and miss, but I think that is one thing that has definitely improved on the Strip. The food options here in Las Vegas right now are still limited, even though they've raised capacity to 35% at the restaurants. A lot of them are not open at all, and some of them have limited hours. So if you're used to a 24-hour place, you definitely want to check the website for the new hours, call ahead. Reservations are not required anymore, but I would definitely recommend doing that just to be sure that they are going to be available when you want to go.
So while it may not be super crowded on the Strip during the week, the weekends got really busy. We did a live stream on a Saturday night here on the Strip, and the link was absolutely packed. The other thing relating to crowds is that the crowd has definitely gotten older since August, and maybe that's because people are getting vaccinated and they feel safer traveling, but the crowd is definitely older than it was a few months ago, and that's certainly a welcome thing for us.
I have noticed this trip that there are fewer slot cleaning stations around. Several months ago, they were pretty much at every slot bank, some wet wipes for you to clean the machines. And I'm not seeing that here now. There are some in various locations, but they're further from the machines and they're difficult to find. So if you are someone who wants to wipe down your machine, you might think about bringing your own wipes or wearing gloves or just bringing some hand sanitizer, because those stations are definitely fewer and far between than they were several months ago.
So one thing that was really noticeable after Vegas reopened was the transportation issue. Taxis had gone to a flat rate. That is still the case if you're taking a taxi from the airport to a Strip hotel. But back in August, it was sometimes difficult to get an Uber or Lyft. And that is no longer the case. It's barely pain-free to get an Uber and Lyft now, just like it used to be, which is really nice. Now, like we said, we have flown out here several times now to Las Vegas. In December, we were on the red eye back home. There were very, very few people on that flight. On the way out here this time, which was a direct flight, it was packed. So that has definitely changed now. If you are concerned about the number of people on an airplane with you, you might want to reconsider your trip until maybe you've had the vaccine or until you're just a little more comfortable with travel. And one of the really hot topics back when Vegas reopened last year was the scooter problem. That seems to have gone away. I don't know if maybe they're just not renting them as much as they used to, or there were so many complaints, or it's just gone out of fashion. But there are definitely not as many scooters riding around on the sidewalks, on the strip, as there were before, which is, I think, good for all of us.
I wouldn't consider these updates, but some things that I noticed for the first time on this trip: dog poop on the ground, on the strip. We've seen several dogs, and we've seen some dogs before, but I have never actually seen poop. That's one thing. Maybe just pay attention to where you're walking. And the other thing is the static electricity. Oh my gosh, I noticed it first in the airport. Hair in the ladies' restroom, like plastered against the wall, and then when I went to the mirror to wash my hands, my hair was just everywhere. Removing my fleece sweatshirt in the hotel, just lots of static. So keep that in mind. Also, it does seem a little drier here, and just a tip, if you have trouble sleeping when it's really, really dry, maybe leave the hot water in your tub. Don't drain it at night, because I think it helped us a lot get through the night without, dry mouth and dry nose.
And guys, one more thing, pandemic or no pandemic, wash your hands when you go to the restroom, please, for the sake of all of us. Just do it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little notification bell so that you know every time we release a new video. I guess we'll see you on the next episode of The Midnight Ride.